Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. Jurgen Klopp, no way, has been appointed or chosen as the Premier League Manager of the Year. The Premier League Manager of the Year. No way. No way, no way. I can't believe it. I'm outraged. Apart from the fact I'm going no way because this is what you voted for when we did our poll a couple of games ago and we went through top 8 and he won. Klopp won. So I actually am going to come at this a different angle and I want to know what you people think in the chat because that's all that matters at the end of the day. What are your thoughts about Jurgen Klopp being named the Premier League Manager of the Year? Now, the outrage that's coming out of some pundits and media is that how can Jurgen Klopp be named Premier League Manager of the Year when he didn't achieve his aim of winning the title and Pep Guardiola did? But I like that Jurgen Klopp won Premier League Manager of the Year. Now, the LMA Manager of the Year, which is voted by the League Managers Association, that takes into account everything, all the cups. So Klopp wins that easily because he won the FA Cup, he won the Carabao Cup, he's in the Champions League final, and he came second in the league. But the Premier League Manager of the Year is based on your Premier League form. So why has Jurgen Klopp come out instead of Pep? Well, when we did the vote a couple of games ago, it was actually a Klopp versus Conte final. Conte beat Pep in the semi-final and Klopp beat Eddie Howe. So, you know, at the end of the day, the fans have spoken and people can be outraged that Klopp wins Premier League Manager of the Year. I don't think Pep should win it. The reality is Klopp actually lost 2 games and Pep lost 3. He lost out on the title by 1 point. Now, you could easily make a case, well, Pep still won it by 1 point. But my point is this. Klopp does it in harder circumstances than Pep. Man City were favourites to win this league at the start of the season and they won it. But they only won it by 1 point because Liverpool pushed them very, very close again. So I think the prize to Pep is to win the Premier League. But I don't think he's hands down the best Premier League manager this season. And the thing that actually outraged me more was that the candidates were Eddie Howe, Klopp, Pep, Thomas Frank and Vieira. And I'm like, Vieira? I mean, he's done a good job at Palace, but where did Palace finish in the league? Can I just remind you where Palace finished in the league? Crystal Palace finished in 12th. Brighton finished in 9th. So why is Vieira more worthy than Potter? Why is he more worthy than Eddie Howe, who finished above him? Well, Eddie Howe was a candidate, I suppose. But Conte should have been a candidate. And you, good people, actually had Conte as second to Klopp. So Conte wasn't even a candidate, took on a terrible Spurs side, and more importantly, he gave Spurs 71 points. 71 points. That's not what many people predicted. People were saying that 4th place would go to the team that's the least shit. 71 points for 4th place and 3 points off Chelsea. That's not the least shit. That's actually worthy of 4th place. So I think Conte should have been in there ahead of Vieira. But I think when you're looking at a Premier League Manager of the Year, and I want to know what everyone thinks in the comments, of course, but when you're looking at a Premier League Manager of the Year, this is where it's a little bit like your transfer knowledge. When I think about Player Manager of the Year, I'm thinking about the structure. I'm thinking about the players. I'm thinking about Conte, Frank, Eddie Howe. I'm not thinking about Pep and his checkbook. But I am thinking about transfers. I am thinking about your ability to read a game. And I think when somebody says Premier League Manager of the Year, you don't just go, well, who's at the top? Pep. I heard Gabby Bonglahor on about that on Talk Sport this morning. I'd expect that of him because it's like, who's at the top of the league? Well, it should be Pep. Well, no. There are levels to this game, quite literally. Pep Guardiola is a fantastic coach, but he's got arguably the best squad in the league and he's got the most money to spend at the moment. So it's almost a handicap, isn't it? If I play somebody at golf who's good at it, I get this handicap thing where they add shots on to make it more equal. And it works. It's quite good. And I think that you look at what Thomas Frank's done at Brentford. I predicted they'd get relegated if you check out my reaction to Premier League's video I put up yesterday. And they stayed up comfortably. That is a major achievement on par with what Pep's done. Maybe exceeds what Pep's done. Eddie Howe took a very poor Newcastle side to comfortably in the top 10. That exceeds what Pep's done in many people's eyes. Conte taking a poor Spurs side to be in the 4th best team and getting them Champions League. Does that exceed what Pep's done? And that is why Jurgen Klopp has been given the Premier League Manager of the Year award, because it's not as simplistic as saying, well, how can he get it? He didn't win the league. How's about this? You shouldn't look at external factors like the Champions League and the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. But if you think of it like this, Jurgen Klopp has managed every possible game he could have this season. And what I mean by that is they've won every Carabao Cup game, they've won every FA Cup game, and they've won every Champions League game. So as well as getting within 1 point of Manchester City, he's also took that same set of players to 3 cup finals whilst also managing league games. And Man City, when they were getting knocked out of these tournaments and playing 1 game a week, Liverpool have been, for the last 6 or 7 weeks, playing 3 games a week. And I think you have to take those things into account. I wouldn't give Klopp the Premier League Manager of the Year award because he wins the Champions League, or he's won the Carabao Cup, or he's won the FA Cup. But I would give it him based on the fact that he took a Man City side very, very, very close, right to the last day. He lost less games, and on top of that, he's had to play load more games as well. So I think Klopp is the worthy winner. And as a Man United fan, I don't like saying that, but I think he is the worthy winner. And actually, if he wasn't going to be the winner, I would go with Conte or Eddie Howe. And funnily enough, that's exactly what you voted as your top 4 when we did it a couple of games ago. We had an 8-man shortlist. We had quarter-final, semi-final, final. The semi-finalist was Klopp against Howe and Pep against Conte. And it ended up being Klopp against Conte in the final. So, look, Pep's a fantastic manager, but I almost think Man City underachieved. You know, that sounds ridiculous, and I'll probably get clipped up for it, but I think Man City fans would understand it. You know, Man City winning the league, they were the favourites to win the league, and they got took all the way to the final day. They got knocked out of the Champions League, they got knocked out of both cups. I think that Man City side should be winning more than the Premier League, so I think they slightly underachieved, whereas Liverpool have definitely overachieved because they were very close to doing a quadruple. In fact, I think they'll be 1 point off doing a quadruple because I do think, as much as I don't want them to do, I do think they will win against Real Madrid. So, look, I love opinion. I'm sure there's going to be different opinion in the chat, but the outrage that there's been around because of Jurgen Klopp winning the Premier League Manager of the Year. Wow, how's he done that? He came second because it's not as simple as who came first. I'd tell you what, I'd have been outraged if Pep had won Premier League Manager of the Year. For what? For winning it? Well, that's very obvious. But no, come on. If we may as well just not have a Premier League Manager of the Year award if we're just going to give it to the one who finishes first. You have to look at the levels. You have to look at what people have achieved. And yeah, I definitely would be looking at the Contes and the Klopps and the Howes and the Franks. As before, I'd probably be looking at Pep. I do think what Thomas Frank has done at Brentford is bordering on miraculous as well. So look, I think sometimes it's easy to be outraged. As I say, I was very happy about it because it's what you voted for in your thousands, and it was done in a very democratic way with votes. So well done. You predicted Klopp if you did, but I wouldn't have Pep in my top 3. I would go. Well, get in the comments who would be your top 3. I'd have Klopp 1. I'd have Conte 2 and I'd have Eddie Howe 3. I'd like to have Thomas Frank in there as well, but I think Eddie Howe did a great job at Newcastle. And what I like about what Eddie Howe did, by the way, is that yes, he had a bit of money, but he didn't go and buy Kylian Mbappe. He bought people like Bruno Guimaraes. What a great signing he was. Wood, who's not had a massive impact to be fair. The centre back from Brighton, and they weren't like marquee signings, but they were a very hard team to beat, Newcastle, and they played some good football and they went on a great run. So I think he deserves a lot of credit. Thomas Frank, as I've said, and Conte, as I've said, we played Nuno Spurs just before he got sacked, and we played them off the park at their own place. They were shite. You look at Spurs now, and to do that halfway through a season is not easy. And I know it wasn't halfway through, but to do it when, through a season, he missed out on Diaz, who went to Liverpool, and what a good signing he would have been. And he went and got Kulusevski as well. So, very good in the market, very good performances, and they deserved it. So there you go. Anyway, get your comments in below. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe, and I'll speak to you on the next one. Thanks very much for watching.